And this whole thing is just like, it tells time in like 3 different time zones. Like, well, in Philadelphia, it's $50.
Yeah, it's like the thinnest watch to be waterproof up to 3 surfaces. I'm like, who cares?
It's the sports watch of the 80s. Like, he's trying to sell it to him. And he's like,
he is trying to sell it to him. But, like,
more ways than one, though.
But, like, the idea of it was also, like, he's trying to sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, basically, the pawn shop guy is just like, yeah, this thing is hot. Like, you stole this. You look like a vagabond, and all of a sudden you have a $6,000 watch. You stole this. Plain and simple.
$50.
So he's like, $50 just because I'm going to deal with a world of shit for this.
So he gives him the watch, and then looks down and goes, how much for the gun?
Mm-hmm.
Which I could imagine would have been a lot more than $50.
Yeah, you would think.
Who knows?
Maybe he pawned that pimp coat he was wearing.
Maybe. So we get to one of the saddest scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
Which is one of several scenes of Louis just standing in the rain. Because he comes across a dinner with Billy. Billy's there with all the rich people, and the Dukes were there. I think the Dukes were there as well. And he's just trying to laugh off, just like, oh god, these people are just the worst. And I do like that he points out, like, well, you have expensive taste because look at your wife.
Yeah.
All those diamonds and everything, that's not, that's gonna cost you.
That's gonna cost you to keep her happy.
And then they're like, silence.
Yeah.
Oh, Billy. Oh, William.
Capital joking, William. Good show.
But I do love the woman just kind of whispers in his ear, probably like,
yeah.
Hey, you want to fuck?
Yeah, do you want some? Like, you got dick, right?
Because the look on his eye is just like, huh?
Huh? Well, I could fuck a white woman today.
See delirious.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
the Brooke Shields joke speaks for itself. So Louis in the rain, saddest thing ever. He's just standing there, and then I think he's standing there, and then it begins to rain.
Yeah, it's like that happens more than once in this movie where he's just standing there and it starts to rain, and he's just like,
and it goes from 0 to 60. It's not like little rain and then it gets big. It's literally no rain and then all
torrential
of the
downpour.
rain.
Yeah, which is such a great moment. It's so pathetic and awesome.
We cut to an Xmas party. Louis has snuck in as Santa Claus.
Now, again,
the dirtiest Santa Claus you've ever seen. They would have thrown him out immediately.
Well, first of all, that's my point of, I think he gathered that suit from the dumpster. And then, and then he somehow gets in.
And he steps in line, he gets some food, he grabs a whole fucking fish, and stuffs it in
this is the part, like, this part really didn't make any sense to me, because in the previous scene, he was sick. Yeah. Right? And
because he was standing in the rain.
Exactly. And Ophelia is being the sweetest nurse lady you've ever seen. Like, this is such a weird, odd moment where she's just like, she's very cold and very clinical to him, but then he's sick, and immediately she's like the sweetest human being ever. Which I kind of like.
That matronly...
Yeah, just clicked right in.
Right in, like, and, he's sick, I gotta take care of him.
Yeah, and then...
Thermometer, gives him a little kiss on the head.
It's amazing. And then... But the thing that I question about it is, this is the next day. He's feeling better, but she's like, "You're still staying in bed," and she's like, "And I'm gonna cook you dinner." So when he goes to this party, why is he stealing food?
Yeah,
she's making him dinner.
Well, he saw that big like Alaskan bass or whatever the fuck ridiculous fish that he got. He puts
some meat in his pocket, and then he gets this giant like you said, like a sea bass or something like that, and just shoves it down his shirt. Apparently nobody sees it. Well, no, one dude sees it.
Yeah, the guy next to him is like...
And just like, okay, I guess.
Like, again, no. This dirty old Santa at an Xmas party, people would be like, I guess you can make the argument, he's the Santa at the party, but he's so filthy.
He's so filthy and probably smells of garbage.
Yeah, so it's just like, can someone get garbage Santa out of here?
Yeah, really.
Security! But no, he sneaks into his old office, because he's going to plant drugs on Billy, because this whole time, he thinks Billy planted it. Because he doesn't even think of the Dukes.
No.
He just completely thinks, well, this guy, he saw me, and he saw what I had, and he wanted it.
Well,
so he did this thing to me.
Well, weirdly enough, he didn't pay attention in the very beginning when the Dukes kind of treated him like shit.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like weird, because like they treated him like the low man on the totem pole, even though they kind of needed him.
Because when he went back to his house, even Coleman was like, I don't know who you are, please leave.
You're a piece of shit. So for some reason... It never occurred to him that they might be behind it, but yet he still... I mean, but if you look at it from his perspective, A, he thinks the Dukes are his friends, and B, all you see is this dude taking all your shit, so you're gonna blame him.
Plants all the drugs.
Yes.
And like a ridiculous amount. Pills and dope and coke, and I think he threw a couple needles in there, and then they all come in, and he's like, look, all these drugs are all his. And they're like, you just need help.
Yeah, and Billy just sort of goes, I came in and saw him planting all this stuff on me. And they're like, oh, okay.
Then he pulls out his gun. Doesn't really threaten.
Well, first he pulls out the beef.
He pulls out the beef, and thinking it's the gun. Yeah. That's not it. Throws it away.
Yeah.
Pulls out the gun, runs out, yelling and screaming like a madman, jumps on the table. I think does he fire off a round? No, he just sees,
like, he just goes feral at this point.
And then he just runs out.
Yeah.
The saddest scene ever in this film.
I don't know if it's the saddest, but it's certainly the fucking darkest.
So he's after getting off the bus, of which he was sitting on, like, eating the fish.
I wanted to talk about this fish scene because, in a weird way, I've kind of done something like this.
Also, how did he get on the bus? It doesn't look like it was a stop. It looked like he was in an alleyway that the bus was going down, saw this guy, stopped for him, let him on, a drunk, inebriated, dirty Santa Claus. Sure, I know it's Philadelphia in the 80s, but come on.
Well, I mean, maybe you're the bus driver on that route going, oh, this is the third one tonight.
I love Santa Claus. Get on up here, Kris Kringle.
This is probably the third drunk Santa that night, so I'm pretty sure he's not thinking twice about it.
So he gets on, doesn't probably pay, I'm assuming.
Well, you never know. He might have some change. It really didn't cost much to get on the bus, I'm sure, back in 83.
Fair.
But,
so he sits down.
Yeah, he sits down, and he just basically first of all, he scares the crap out of the woman next to him, and she gets up. And then he just sort of horribly pulls the bass out of his shirt.
Under his beard. Yeah, like not over, under, and...
This is what I wanted to talk about, and I will divulge something here that has happened to me before.
I'm not proud of.
I'm not proud of this at all, but I was fucking, like, 9 sheets to the wind at one point.
You were Kennedy drunk.
I was. And I can't remember what it was I was eating, but this was back, and I think you remember, I used to have a really long fucking beard. And I was eating something, and I was lying down because I was that fucking drunk, but I was hungry, and I wanted to eat something, and I was eating, and I just... without being able to physically move my arm properly, I put the food through my beard. Ew. And instead of pulling the food out, I just sort of pushed my beard to the side and just kept eating. And yeah, so I've seen that, and I immediately laughed my ass off, because I've done that before, and it was just
I've been there, Xana! I feel your pain!
And me and Danny Aykroyd got this down.
So he gets off the bus, still has the gun in his hand.
Yeah.
Starts to downpour once again.
Yeah, it literally happens again.
Once again. Mm-hmm. Pulls the gun out.
Mm-hmm.
Puts it to his head.
Yeah.
And like, Jesus. Like, it's raining, it's nighttime.
Like, oh my God.
He's dressed as Santa.
And you're looking at this going, oh my God, this is the most horrible thing. And then click. He pulled the fucking trigger. Jesus!
Doesn't go off. Thinks it's faulty. Throws it. It goes off.
Yeah. So... he could have died right in that moment. So then he stumbles his ass home.
To kill himself.
Yes.
With pills. But Billy...
So I do enjoy the fact that he walks in, Ophelia's, like, trimming the tree and, like, I guess dinner's on. And he just fucking doesn't acknowledge her. Except, well, he does acknowledge her by going, ah!
Yeah, he's blind, stinking drunk at this point.
And by the way, we do have a friend... I really won't name his name because I know our friend Reed hates when I do that. But this name I won't say. I do have a friend that used to get that drunk that all he would do was go, ah!
Where it's just noises.
Yeah, if you do the math, you can figure out who I'm talking about.
So Billy, after finding out, because he did grab the weed.
Yes.
I say, free weed.
Yeah.
Come on. Mm-hmm. Leave all the other hard stuff, but hey, free weed.
It's a joint, yeah. And he didn't take all of it. He just took it. There was apparently a couple joints. He took one, put it in his pocket.
Because that's all you need.
I did like how nonchalant he put it in there. He didn't look up or anything like that. He just sort of like put one in his pocket. Yeah. I'm like, I like that. That's cool.
Goes to the bathroom. Mm-hmm. Is very,
he's just trying to smoke a joint.
He smoked a joint, but he was very nice about it. He tried to blow it into the vent. He didn't want to blow it everywhere. The Dukes come in to talk about their bet. Mm-hmm. Now... I get that he blew the smoke into the vent.
Mm-hmm. How did they not smell it? That would be because he put it in his mouth.
No, he did put it in his mouth, but you're still gonna...
At first, yeah, but they probably...
You light a joint and it immediately...
Yeah, but you know what? They probably don't think that somebody's still there smoking. They probably just like, oh, somebody smoked a joint, because it's the 80s, and I'm sure... Well, it's the 80s. It's year.
Yeah.
And you pick a year, and I'm sure at a party somewhere, your bathroom's going to smell like weed.
I guess.
So...
So they talk about the bet. The amount?
Yes.
$1.
Well... I was thinking about this, and I remember hearing somebody talking about this on a podcast once. Yeah, it's for $1. They don't need money. It's just for the shit of it. It's the gentleman's bet.
They've said that this is not the first time they've done this.
Yes.
I think it's the whole, to them it's nothing.
Yeah.
But to Billy Ray and then eventually Lewis,
yes,
that's the most insulting part.
Yes.
Because you're going to ruin both of our lives. For $1.
But that's not. But I mean, that's the thing. Again, that's not the point. The dollar's not the point. The
not
point
to them,
just,
but to the people. It's
no, I get it. I get it.
That kind
it works.
It's
it
the
works,
whole thing.
Yeah, it works on both levels.
Of course, they use negative slur.
Of course,
because they don't want that kind of person running their company. Just to prove that they are the villains. And I'm like, well, they were fun-loving villains until that point.
Ironically, this is Don Amici says that, and he curses once because he was very religious and really didn't want to say that stuff. So both of these scenes,
I'm sure it's always dodgy if you're a white actor wanting to use the N-word.
But that, and even also saying later on in the movie when he says "fuck him," he only literally he told the director
say it once.
He literally did one take, and that was it. But
you better get it.
He's also really good on one takes because actually a scene that I wanted to talk about before we never got to, which was when Eddie Murphy hands him back his money clip that they dropped.
Oh yeah, because he wanted to
show that he wasn't like a criminal. When he throws the money clip at Don Amici and he sort of fucking fumbles with it and flips it up, not planned.
He caught it.
He they flipped it up and everything. He just kept fucking missing it and then eventually caught it. And both of them no-sold it completely, stayed in character, and they went on. And that was the take they used because that's the best thing we've ever seen.
Cut. Yeah, I meant to do that.
Yeah, right, guys. Right? I totally meant to do that.
Yeah, but I just kind of like, no, you were fun-loving villains until that. Now you're just evil.
Now we don't like you.
But, that's the whole point of villains in a movie. Cut to New Year's Eve. It is now New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
They have a plan. Because Billy comes to the apartment. They save Lewis from killing himself. Tells Lewis the plan. Because he's like, he's going to ruin you. Yeah. Because the whole thing wasn't like, oh, we'll put Lewis back. It's like, no, I don't want him now. Yeah. He proved that he just... When all fell to pieces, he still couldn't pick himself up. He became the criminal like we thought since he lost. So we don't
he's
want him done. Yeah. And of course, Billy's not. Ugh.
No.
So we don't want either of them. We'll put someone else there.
Yeah.
So.
And we'll just drop both of them.
Yeah. So Billy tells them this. They have a plan. They know that they're supposed to meet Beeks because they have insider information.
Yes.
Insider trading. Do you want to get into this now?
Yeah, sure.
Because this is one of the first instances, I think, of speaking about insider trading in a film.
No, I think Wall Street.
Was Wall Street before or after this?
I think that was like 80... No, shit. When the hell was... No, Wall Street was like 87.
Yeah, so...
You might be right, but this isn't necessarily insider trading. It was actually never...
They call it the Eddie Murphy rule?
Well, they do. That's what I was getting to. Is basically for the Transparency and Accountabilities Act. They added a rule. So this was in 2010 they added this. So this was not technically illegal. Basically, they said that you have to disclose any info that could help you corner a market. So, and then basically, it's now referred to as the Eddie Murphy rule from this movie because...
Why not the Trading Places rule?
Because Eddie Murphy was the biggest star of the whole thing.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
I mean...
That's fair.
I would, well, we'll get to that later, but, it's just
Or like the Duke Brothers rule.
Yeah, like the Duke Brothers rule would be better.
Because they're just like, they're gonna get the crop report from Beeks, corner the market on freshly concentrated orange juice.
Frozen concentrated orange juice.
Frozen concentrated orange juice. Basically corner the market to the point where they're just gonna make off, like... Maybe be billionaires.
Yes,
because they're gonna.
No, they would have been close to billionaires because of on top of what they have. It's a whole process on how it works.
And he knew they were going to do this. I guess somehow they figured it out. I think Billy Ray caught onto it.
Yeah, they saw what was going on because Billy Ray caught